is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning and welcome to Guardian Radio AM. Today is Thursday, July 27th. It's a little after 11 o'clock in the morning on this wet morning. Once again, this is CA Newry and I shall be your host for the day as we have a discussion about teachers who code. Actually, they're going to have a summer's workshop that's going to be happening on July 24th to July 28th, right? And they actually have 2 weeks. And also on August 30th through July 31st to August 4th on Zoom. I have Catherine on Zoom who's going to give me detailed information on what they mean by teachers who code, what is this summer camp about, and who should attend. Catherine, are you there?
I'm here with you.
Okay, and formally introduce yourself to me.
Inviting me on your program.
No, I'm excited to have you here. Code is the new big thing, actually, and the idea that
we're super excited to talk about computer literacy and specifically coding and how it can help students and even teachers deliver more in the classroom.
So let's start with your background. Introduce yourself formally and tell me how this came about.
So my name is Catherine Lajeunesse, and I've actually been living in Asia for 35 years and seen incredible technological progress in countries like Singapore. And when I arrived here in the Bahamas, I started talking to some people, and people were saying that, hey, the school system could really use a boost. And I started to think about what that would look like. And I was very fortunate to reach out to Kimberly King Burns of the Bryland Modem Fund and Ryan Austin of Bytes Bahamas, who had already conceived of a plan to transform the teaching culture, I guess, of the Bahamas, and to start initially by teaching computer science skills to our teachers. And we, as volunteers, agreed this was a brilliant plan, and it had an incredible opportunity to transform the educational landscape. So that's what we've been doing in combination with some outreach projects in the schools through computer coding clubs and some hackathons outside of the schools. So Computer Coding Bahamas Futures was set up by us, a group of volunteers from a bunch of backgrounds, really to promote promote computer science literacy in our school system.
And I know that this summer camp is going to be about coding, but in the past, what all have you done?
Well, we actually had a program last summer, also a Teachers Who Code program, where we brought together over 60 teachers over the course of 3 weeks, virtual and in person, to learn a curriculum from code.org on computer science fundamentals. So this summer's program, also called Teachers Who Code, is seeing an expansion of that program. So we will have over 70 teachers enrolled over 2 weeks, both in person and virtually, learning not just CS fundamentals this time, but actually moving on to CS, which introduces JavaScript. So they will be doing coding, in a more advanced way, and it's challenging and super exciting for our teachers.
Okay, and this summer camp, where it's going to be this time?
Okay, so this time we are holding it virtually. So teachers are joining in for our more advanced class, CS Discoveries, virtually. But we actually have 2 in-person sessions for teachers going on at NPCC, that's New Providence Community Center, down on Blake Road. So we have one session that's finishing this Friday. We have another session starting this Monday, and I believe they're still available. If you are a teacher in the Bahamas and you want to join this in-person class or want to join the virtual class, you may contact us by emailing us at info@codingbahamasfuture.org, and we will give you all the information you need.
Morning. This is Erin Green here. Can you tell me what are some of the intended outcomes for teachers who participate in this program? Like, what can they do when they're done? And is the program being run in connection with the Ministry of Education and Technical and Vocational Training with the intention of enrolling in the school curricula?
I'm going to give Ryan Austin, our executive director, a chance to answer that question. He is involved with the program curriculum, so I'll let him speak more about that.
Awesome. Thank you.
Hey, Erin. Thank you. Fantastic question. And so the intended outcomes for this program is for teachers to walk away with the confidence to teach computer science and coding in their classrooms. We don't expect that they're going to walk out of here and then build the next Facebook or Instagram. But we do expect that they're going to walk out here with the confidence to actually get that process started, to be inspired enough to learn more if they so desire, but ultimately students who are yearning for this information. You know, Erin, I joined this call about 2 minutes ago, and before I joined the call, I just got the most beautiful feedback to inspire me. There was a teacher who said, she teaches grade 9 to 12, and she said, you know, before I joined this session, I was like teaching kids coding, I don't know, slim chance. And she said, but now the confidence she has, the things she's solving, the problems she's discovering and resolving on her own in code, she's just blown away. And that's the comment that I left coming onto this call from a teacher that thought prior to coming on to our training. And so we see students students want this information. We see students being inspired, starting in class and going ahead of their teachers, either learning or continuing on with YouTube, continuing on with code.org, or continuing on with just a various amount of, there's so much coding content out there, right? We know that anyone can just pick up a computer and start to learn to code on their own. But the confidence and the hand-holding and the mentorship is an extremely important part of knowing you can do it. And that's what we're doing. So ultimately, the outcome is that having teachers know that they can do it. And then secondly, to answer your second question regarding the Ministry of Education's involvement, at the highest level, Erin, our Honorable Minister, she is involved. She knows about this program. She visited and inspired the teachers last year, and she is excited about this program. She spoke to them about how one of her visions is to have a tech club with technical students. She spoke to them about how she sees them and this is the future, and she knows everything that they're doing and how important it is because she's been visiting other countries in the Caribbean and around the world, and she understands how important coding is. Directors within the ministry, they are actually, and curriculum officers, they are sending their teachers to us. They're saying, listen, we have teachers that are inspired, that really want to do this program. Teachers are asking, is there going to be coding this year? Keep in mind, we're a private organization, we're a nonprofit individuals, and we just decided to start this because we saw a need and we wanted to deliver this content. And now we have teachers asking their curriculum officers, will there be coding this year? And will there be also extended hours in the curriculum for coding?
Absolutely.
And so that's the key. Yeah.
So I just want to reiterate who should be attending this workshop this coming Monday.
So who should be attending this workshop? Computer science teachers, non-computer science teachers, anybody in the ministry, from teaching, curriculum officers, persons that can affect the curriculum design, pacing guide, technical writers. All of these types of people should be attending. We have in this program, Cecil, we have reading We have teachers that teach reading comprehension, literature. We have math teachers. We have computer science teachers, of course. We have teachers in social studies. And I'll tell you this. Okay. Last year, we had a teacher in social studies and family affairs. And this teacher went on to teach a program. She was teaching home economics, and she wanted to involve some level of coding. So she had her students create an app using code.org, a small app just that displayed some understanding of family life as a part of their coursework for their BGCSE curriculum. Isn't that amazing?
That's nice.
Right. I was about to say
We
that.
had a reading teacher. I'm sorry to cut you off. We had a reading teacher teach a coding club over at Sandilands Primary. That is just phenomenal. And that blows my mind. So not just computer science teachers.
Yeah, I was about to say, right, not just computer science teachers. There are all kinds of ways that teachers can make their course subject more exciting by introducing coding, like a stock monitoring program for home economics, right? Or a note sharing program for social studies. I wanted to talk briefly about the auxiliary skills that teachers can gain to students through coding, like critical thinking skills, spatial awareness, and most important, logic and reasoning skills. Even if coding is not your thing, taking a course in coding can help to build capacity in other areas.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely true.
Yes.
I want to ask another question in terms of, is there a price attached to this?
It's absolutely free.
What? So you mean teachers could come to this free? They just need to call and register and just come and take
Just need
advantage
to
of coding.
register. Register and show up.
And that's info@codingbahamasfuture.org.
That is correct.
Is there a cell phone
And I'd
number?
like to direct, if people would like more information about our organization, can go to www.codingbahamasfuture.org. And that's our brand new website. And if they're a teacher, there's a teacher portal. If they're a student, there's a student portal. There's a resource page directing them to self-paced courses. And there's also information how, if they're a community leader or if they are someone who has the ability to direct resources and they would like to help this program, there's a donate button and we'll be in touch with you. We currently have a sponsor, Phantom Foundation, which is a blockchain business, which has its leadership here in the Bahamas, contributed a matching grant to us for $100,000. So basically, if you make any donation, it will be matched up to $100,000, one time only, but up to $100,000. And we've matched $5,000 of that grant so far. So $95,000 to go.
That's awesome.
Nice. So when is this event again? This is this Monday coming?
This Monday coming. So you're talking July 31st to August 4th. It's from 9 to 3 p.m. Lunch is provided.
Lunch is free too?
Lunch is free too.
Oh, okay. This is nice. Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just heard free things. So go ahead.
See, so we're getting this done on a shoestring budget, as Kat would have mentioned, because we want to just decrease the barriers for anyone not showing up. And I know there are a lot of teachers that are listening or might hear this program, or even people that know that they're attending next week. And I just want to encourage them to practice, log on and begin the self-paced program because you're in for an exciting week. If the feedback we're getting so far is any indication, you're in for a very exciting week.
Absolutely. Now, this is the second year that the program is being hosted?
That is correct.
It's the second year.
So are there resources for teachers post-training? Like, can this year's cohort of teachers connect with last year's cohort of teachers for support? Is there resource material available in a central digital participants?
Yes. So all of our content live forever in a FAQ page, that teachers have access to those pages. They're there. We have teachers from last year that tell me they watched our videos. They watched some of those videos just recently, about 2 months ago. They're still there. They're live. They're posted and easily accessible. All of the content is organized in a very easily digestible way. And so, same thing this year. Now, with regards to teachers accessing teachers from the previous cohort, we have a lot of teachers from the previous cohort this year, and they are flying through the course. Not only are they flying through the self-paced course, they're also flying through the advanced course that we're doing. We have those previous skills from the fundamentals course. Next year, we take it up even higher, because now we have to take the people that we put in the advanced course and now put them in the front of a text-based coding environment. So, right now, so first year, we did a lot of infrastructure work, all the plumbing, Aaron. Second year, we started to put up maybe, a couple of walls. And, now we're getting to the roof.
Absolutely.
We're getting to the roof, so it's exciting.
It takes time to build a program, and it has to be properly structured, because one of the major principles, garbage in, garbage out. So the construction of the program will dictate the outcome of the program. This is awesome, man. This is an awesome opportunity.
Teachers who are registering, what all tools should they bring or that they need coming in for the program?
Well, if they have a laptop, we're asking them to bring a laptop. If they don't have a laptop, we have just a few available that we are loaning out to teachers to just use for the week, whether they're doing it virtually or in person. If they already registered, they can borrow the laptop and then bring it back at the end of the week when we're done with the program. If any sponsors are out there that want to donate laptops that teachers can have, teachers without laptops. There are teachers without laptops. I want to stress that a bit. So that if there are any sponsors out there trying to find a way to help, if you have a laptop, used or new, that teachers can actually have. We don't want junk, because now you're sending the teacher to the classroom with something they actually can't use or have more problems with. So these can be, even Chromebooks would work. So this week or next week, please bring them in to NPCC. Usually every year we do a needs assessment with our teachers to figure out what their needs are in class. So even if it's a great amount of laptops that you want to donate, that's fine, because we have needs assessments that tell us how many laptops a teacher has in their computer science classroom and how many students they have. And we can tell, okay, well, for the most part, on average, they only have about 50% of the devices they need. A lot of them have tablets. But when we're talking, actually getting into coding and using some of these programs, the tablets just can't work. They're okay for consuming, but just not the best at when you put it to like creating, actively creating. And that's what coding is. Coding is creating. And so, just wanted to put that call out there. Thank you for the question.
Absolutely. I want to throw some ideas out to inspire coding projects, right? For music teachers. It would be great to focus on programs and apps that sort of catalog music and help people find music, because there's a lack of organization in that space. Bahamian culture have difficulty finding it, right? That would be a wonderful...
It's funny you said that, because I was looking at Spotify yesterday, looking for some Bahamian music for our teachers. And you can get a playlist called Bahamian Music, but it's no Bahamian authorship there. It's just a background music created, to give an island sort of feel.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it with the teachers, talking about, hey, why isn't there a playlist with Bahamian artists?
Yeah, I think it speaks to the importance of programs like these, that if we talk about sovereignty, if we talk about national identity, and if we talk about not just being a part of the world, but being on the cutting edge of global development, then we need to be able to create our own content. We need to be able to create our own platforms to host our own content, right? We need to build, to own the new Bahamas we want to create.
But let's hit the nail on the head. You hit the nail on the head. For us to be able to create our own content, if you look at developing nations, for example, and if we were to take as an example China, At some point, they decided that, you know what, this isn't working. We need a strategy where we can own and create our own content. And so everyone now, we call it the Firewall of China, but there was a time when they wouldn't allow anything external in so that everything can be created internally. And that allowed China's economy to flourish. Now, when you look at China today, it's completely different China from the China of 20, 30, 40 years ago, probably even longer. Mm-hmm. And so I'm using that example as a means of have to originate in Palo Alto. You know, why does Facebook have to originate in Palo Alto? These ideas can be originated at home. We can export these ideas globally. There is no barrier to doing so, and this is a part of it. Thank you.
But let's do a recap, actually. Remind me of when this workshop is, who is it geared towards, where is the landing page where I can get information about the project. So let's do that.
Ryan, you want to take that?
Yeah, so the workshop this week is wrapping up, wraps up tomorrow, from the 1st to August 4th. If you're doing the in-person CS Fundamentals, you will be at the New Providence Community Center on Blake Road. If you're doing the more advanced course, event-driven programming or CS Discoveries, you will receive a Zoom link to log in virtually. But I want to tell you that the Zoom link, even if you're on the Out Islands, I really want to put the call out to Out Island teachers or Family Island teachers. My love. So listen, we have, I think about 15 teachers from the Out Islands registered between these 2 weeks. That makes my heart sing. We have a teacher in Greencastle. And she is flourishing and she loves the program. And Eleuthera is my home. And so I cannot wait to go back home and to just coordinate with her and see how we could make Eleuthera the CS coding, the tech hub of the Bahamas in our own little way, in our ways of what we're teaching to the students there. And so they can go to the website, www.codingbahamasfuture.org, where we have a ton of information about this current program, about past programs, and other things that we're doing and have done. Or you can email info@codingbahamasfuture.org. You'll receive a link. And even if, for example, you go to sign up and it's in person, you can just always email us and let us know that you want to attend virtually. If you don't see the option for virtual there, just let us know you want to attend virtually and we'll make sure that your application is virtual and you receive the Zoom link. But whilst I'm here, Aaron, I just want to let everyone know, pay attention to our website. Because it's an exciting space where persons can learn more about Coding Bahamas Future, learn more about what's happening in the world of coding in the Bahamas, which is great because there's no resource about what's happening in the coding in the Bahamas for educators and students. Mm-hmm. To be sharing what they'd like to have. So students with coding skills, they're excited about hackathons and they'll be able to participate with their peers right here at home. Not only that, we have some big news because we learned that code.org, they listed the Bahamas as a hour of code event, and with Coding Bahamas Future. So if you look at Hour of Code or code.org, and you see everywhere where Hour of Code is happening during CS Week, which is the first week in December, Computer Science Week, mm-hmm. You will see, Coding Bahamas Future, with our network of over 170 teachers. We're hosting coding events all over the country. And to just touch on that briefly, Erin, I want to say that the Hour of Code event is a global event where teachers from all over the world will go into classrooms and just expose students to an hour of computer science. It doesn't matter if they teach, like we said, social studies, family life, or reading. Mm-hmm. And what we usually do during that time is we pick a school. Usually for me, it's on Eleuthera, and I coordinate with teachers. I say, hey, listen, I don't know if you have the time for me, but I'm coming. I'll be there at roughly this time to this time. And all day I'm in classrooms, there's events. We have a ton of unplugged activities. So it doesn't have to just be where students have devices. We have a ton of unplugged activities and unplugged activity ideas where students can learn about all these advanced CS concepts like variables and conditions just by using things around them. Switching on the light, that's an event. So, and that's one that students particularly love. Or during a dance party. So so watch that space, our website, www.codingbahamasfuture.org. There's a lot to share. There's a lot to already see and a lot more we're going to share.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited though. The idea that there's a group of volunteers who came together to make this technology and this skill available to teachers and for free. And they provide.
Yes, and I just wanted to add that the teachers are really our special sauce. And a big shout out to those teachers who are picking up this challenge. It's not in their job description, but they know it's the way forward and they believe in coding literacy and they support it. And so a big shout out to those teachers and to the Ministry of Education, our tireless administrators and tireless Honorable Minister Glenys Hanna-Martin, who are 100% behind this project and who have enabled us to get off the ground so quickly.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
But thank you very much. Keep us abreast about future projects. I'll be happy to invite you on to explain anything in the future.
And just before you go, when Mr. Newry brought me the subject and he said teachers off a word and it was going to be teachers who code switch. You know, when the students in the room, they'd be like, look here, children, get yourselves in order. But when the principal comes by, they say, good morning, ma'am. The students are ready to greet you. That's what I thought we was going to be talking about this morning. I'm glad we're talking about teachers who actually code.
That's funny.
But thank you very much, Catherine. Thank you very much, Ryan. And thank you very much for passing through and explaining this to us.
Our pleasure.
Thank you. Our pleasure. Have a great day, everyone.
you.
Have a great day.
We can take a quick break right here. Thank you very much, producer. We'll be right back.
Missed the show? You can now listen to Guardian Radio talk shows anytime, anywhere on Spotify and YouTube by searching Guardian Radio 96.9 FM or by entering the name of your favorite show. You can also listen by logging on to GuardianTalkRadio.com and clicking on the podcast tab. Guardian Radio, continuing to provide you with fresh news and smart talk anywhere, anytime, all day.
Love the show? To get support? Become a sponsor today. Call 302-2300 for our rates and packages. That's 302-2300. Become a sponsor on Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
And welcome back to Guardian Radio in the AM. This is C.A. Newry, and of course I have Aaron Green joining me. And I have a clip. That even I did not warn Aaron about, but I want her commentary on this particular clip. This clip tells about us Bahamians in general. It tells about our culture. It tells about who we are as a people. And I want Aaron to analyze this clip to see where we going. What should we be doing from here, right? So, producer, play this clip, and we're gonna casually analyze it. Not the verbiage per se, but the message that the clip is doing. So, play this clip, please, there for me.
I'm here at the Live House Assembly, where a young lady from nowhere, she says she's out here to support Mr. Keith Bell. Can you tell why you're supporting Keith Bell, Mom?
Yes, good morning. I'm supporting Keith Bell because he never left Jamaica Road area.
You know, praise God, I ain't ashamed to say it. I was hungry. And you know, praise God, King Bell came with fruits. All type of fruits, all type of veg. Even Chinese cabbage. I never had Bohemian cabbage, and he feed the whole nation. And you know, I went around giving them, it was so much vegetables, I give it to a lady who was sick, who needed them. Keep Bell never leave me. You know, praise God, my train them had basket. Pete Bell come around and he give us Mother's Day gift. He cannot take care of the whole country, but he do the best of his ability. When you do good, you don't worry about nobody. A change gonna come. I'm not ashamed to say it. Thank God for the honorable pregnant. My grandmother Melissa, she sit me on the side of the bed on 8th Street. She said, Rosalie, I paid the way from you. I remember Brandis, I couldn't go to Roy T. Era. She said, vote PLP. A legend. Earl Williams is Miami. She said, Rosalie, vote PLP. And I would say, honorable, full of bread, Davis, the president. He was feeding me for 15 years, y'all hypocrite. He feed everybody in the market. He gives 300 bread, do the best he can. Come on up in there, tell the truth, she's the devil. God has been good to us. Let them know. I want to thank God for all we will scum. We're gone. Even a global role, she take her money.
Yes. Yes. I wanted to play that because it tells a tale about us, we the people, we Bahamians. And I remember this as how we interpret our politicians and how we're supposed to be dedicated to them, right? And our loyalty, die-hard, zealots, sycophants, right? And I want you to analyze this. No, I'm not analyzing the lady per se. I want the message she was given.
Let's start right there. The first thing that came up for me, right, as we came to the end of the thing, is spatial awareness, sense of time and sense of place, right? For generations of Bahamians, if you were alive and paying your own bills, the move from into majority rule, right? And if you were an adult from majority rule to independence, but particularly majority rule, right? That's a striking moment. There are Bahamians who will forever see the PLP as the only way to go because it's the PLP that took us out of majority rule, right? They will forever be PLPs. There's no getting around that because the time and the moment was so large that everybody who was of African descent, virtually everybody who was of African descent, had an affinity to the PLP because the PLP took us out of apartheid. For many of those people, though, they can't move past that. They are unable to see the evolution of the party. They are unable to see 2023 PLP as something different from 2012 PLP, right? From 2002, 2003 PLP, and certainly from majority rule PLP. So I understand why we hear sentiments like that, right? My people tell me, my ancestors tell me, you must always vote because their political and personal identities were formed at a time when the PLP took us, the perception, right? Because we know it wasn't just the PLP. We know that Randall folks and his party, there were other elements. But for those people, it's hard to shift that or shift them to the present, right? When you say PLP, they always think of the PLP of the past. Same thing now with the FNM. 1992 is a pivotal moment for the formation of identities. People who were FNMs in 1992 will probably forever be FNMs. And they're never going to vote PLP or for another party because the 1992 FNM is perceived by many as being the party that ended the tyrannical rule, 5 terms, 25 years of Pindling's rule. That's why having a sense of time and a sense of place is so important because we're now 30 years in the future, but you still have people who can tell, I am a diehard FNM. But they're not thinking about the FNM of today when they say that their political and personal identity is formed around that 1992 moment and the politics of the day.
There is a critique that there's a need to move from these two political parties, the PLP and the FNM, that there is a PLP culture. Mm-hmm. It's the party itself, or the FNM culture. It's the party itself that is causing the mischief or the inconvenience of Bohemiana. And this is where this COI party. But I would put it to you, and I'm going to ask you, is it the party itself? Or is it the culture of the Bahamian people that the same diehards that you see in the FNM and the PLP, you see into the new coalition of independence?
So watch this. Here's the thing. Politics now consumes the collective consciousness, right? It used to be religion. It used to be the church. It consumed the collective consciousness. Now it's politics, right? For a third party to emerge and be a serious player, they have to find the right moment, the right issue, right? The issue has to be personal, it has to be local, it has to be regional and international to create the critical mass necessary, right? The critical mass of focus on their party, right? They have to, something has to happen. See, the PLP were benefactors of circumstance.
Yes. We was going through apartheid. And the change of black empowerment, and they joined on that bandwagon.
Right. 1992, the FNM took advantage. Well, that's a tricky one. I called one number today. This requires a lot of analysis, but I would say similarly in the same way, the ending of an era, right? The FNM were there. Any other party that was there would experience the same thing, right? And so will a third party be fortunate enough, right, to be able to capitalize on a global, a collective shift in culture?
I want to stop you right there. The COI party is marking themselves as the alternative, and an alternative that is concentrating on Bahamians. Mm-hmm. They're suggesting that the other two parties are not putting the Bahamians first, and that is their movement, that is their springboard to usher in. But I see them as more of the same.
So here's the thing. It appears as if the COI is attempting to take advantage of a global cultural phenomenon, right? Where citizens across the globe feel a growing distance between them and their governments, right? This is not something that's just happening in the Bahamas. Across, even America, right? Our cousins to the north are saying Canada, they feel disconnected from decision making, from policy making, and from governance. And so the COI have an opportunity to build credit, political and social credit, if they can take advantage of this wave. But it's not just that. They have to be fundamentally different. The PLP broke down apartheid. Ingram opened up the airwaves, right? And that's a big thing. Water on the Family Islands. That's a big moment. The COI not only have to be able to properly capitalize on this global, regional, local shift in political and social, well, in social politics, but they also have to have entrenched themselves in real solid philosophies and ideologies, and they have to have real programs, and they have to show that they are fundamentally transforming people's lives to be able to capitalize properly on the moment.
I want to bring these callers in, but I want to mention to you
one more point.
What about the fairs that the COI is taking advantage of for the Bahamian people? They highlight all the Bahamian fairs and say, well, we will solve that. But I want to go to the callers first. So before you answer that, practice for first caller through. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me? You have 30 seconds so I can get all these calls through. Go ahead. Call Green once.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm at only take 20. Good morning, Miss Green.
Morning.
All right, Poppy. Something what Mr. Newry said earlier, like the people saying they want something different from the PLP or FNM. Mr. Newry, you know what I really believe it is? That's a part of it, right? But even, let's say we keep the two system, right? We just need to try something new. We need to try. See, plenty of people was excluded who qualified to do a better job or just as good job as many of them who became prime ministers or leader of this country making decisions. But because of their gender or the color of their skin, they was overlooked. People like Brent Simonette, people like Loretta. It don't have to be none of them, you know. But we need to try something different. If it ain't going to be in the PLP and you want the two-party system and you feel like the F&M is more familiar and stronger, then let's try a white man in there or a female to be the next prime minister of the country, someone who qualifies, not just because they female or they white, but who we know could handle it. Brent Simonette could do a good job in this country for us, but all our life we being told they the boogeyman. Don't fool with them and look at our own color skin treating us. They doing the same damage, and it doesn't matter who wins. Some of these white people, and they still straight. You understand? So a person like Brent Simonette, if we could get him to work along with us to kill this PLP and F&M thing, or this way where they hogging up everything, and seems like when it come down to us, no infrastructure, the proper things we complaining about what's simple to do. Maybe Brent Simonette will do a good job. He was overlooked because of the color of his skin. A woman was overlooked, Loretta Turner Butler. People like her, many others. Y'all keep up the good work.
Thank you very much. Producer Patch, next caller through. Go ahead, Cody. Can you hear me?
Good day, Mr. Jones.
Good day. You call Guardian Radio AM with CA Newry.
Anyhow, Aaron, you know I wanted to talk about some of that. You know I'm off from Elizabeth Avenue on Shirley Street, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, like, you realize that when you pass on by in front of the National Trust and all that water body, or right down to basically by Commonwealth Bank.
Yeah.
That's sewer water, you know. The sewer there and the rainwater is puddled right together, right? And that's like a river, a sewer water people be driving through. I don't know if people be conscious that now you even see some tourists walking through it. That ain't healthy, man. That whole area, when they go to at least redo that area, they have to left that street at least by 2 feet.
I got you. Thank you very much. It's an important note to make. Ministry of Health and relevant departments, please make an assessment, because when I passed the new bridge, in between the new bridge and the old bridge, that was definitely sewer water. That was sewerage. That's sewer water in the road down there. I could smell it well past the old bridge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hopefully they get to address that. This way you start lobbying Ministry of Tourism and the Minister of Tourism, Cooper, to say, hey, let's do something. Let's get it right. But can we have something other than PLP and FNM? Is there space for a third party, or you have to kiss the ring and make space?
There's absolutely space for a third party, but it's not just a matter of waking up. Like people say, when God intends it, it's going to happen. It's a matter of preparation. If God intends it, He still expects you to prepare for it and to make it happen, right? So there is space for a third party. There's space for another party. People can tell you, it's the Westminster system. There can only be two parties. But in Britain, we see constant negotiation between coalition parties, right? We see that, in fact, Benjamin Netanyahu. Look here, I want to know, you want if it's a third party, will there ever be another prime minister in Israel other than Benjamin Netanyahu now that he had that Supreme Court ruling he had the ruling to diminish the power of the courts. But the point is this, there can be a third party. They have to prepare for it. But they need to understand this. Just saying we need a third party is not sufficient. Just listening to Bahamians say we need a third party is not sufficient. And you can't blame Bahamians if you offer something and they don't opt for it, because they may not be the most articulate, but they have good sense. They have good sense, and they can sense when your third party is not ready.
Let's comment on the fares that COI perpetuates.
I think that's one of the biggest concerns that people have with the COI, is that it appears as if people looking for political and social credit to build their own political careers are taking advantage of the authentic and valid sentiments of Bahamians. Bahamians are concerned about being marginalized in their own country. But the question is, are nefarious actors taking, or opportunists taking advantage of that sentiment, right? Because they're trying to garner that energy to create critical mass to propel their party to the future. But I think the COI in many ways have acted recklessly and dragged their members into a future that the COI cannot navigate, and those members certainly cannot. The last point I will make after the caller is something that came up in the video: charity versus structural reform.
Yes. Okay, producer Patrick, caller through. Let me let Aaron with this charity reform thing. Go ahead, caller. Can you hear me?
Yeah, good day, Newry. How you doing, Aaron Graham?
Good morning.
See, the problem is we always think we are so politically correct with what Ms. Green is saying. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
When was the last time, other than Sir Lyndon Oscar Pinnon and Milo Butler, that somebody got the word Bahamian coming out of their mouth and dropping facts, evidence, facts? When was the last time?
Mm-hmm.
But see, a prophet is never accepted in his own town. That's the only problem the COI is going to have. Because we always got people who reading into the thing the wrong way. This man ain't just start that. This man helped us with the COLA. He wasn't into no politics way back then. This man was always an activist man. We need to get on board. And Papa, I called to put my boy Papa on a little bit of blast today. No. Yeah, Brent Seminette is a white man, but not because he white. No, because Brent Seminette got his own, like Minister say, on Keep Bellem say, his own basket of skeletons he got to deal with in this country. So somebody else. Let's try somebody totally new altogether. Thanks for taking my call.
Absolutely. You know, I'm going to say from an advocate's perspective and not a media personality, right? As an advocate, and I still tell young people this today: you do not have the right to martyr other people. You do not have the right to put people in situations they cannot navigate or that will negatively impact their lives forever. The last point is this: when she spoke, charity versus structural reform. People need to stop pandering to Bahamians with charity. You're an MP. We don't expect charity from you. We expect structural reform so people can take care of their own lives. That's what we need. We don't need a handout. We need you to do your job. People wouldn't be having raffles if the hospital was functioning properly. Simple as that. No cookouts because the hospital works.
This has been Guided Radio AM with C.A. Newry. Thank you very much, Aaron. Have a wonderful day.